You won't believe what's going on behind closed doors with the Sister Wives family. Stealthy nighttime moves, questions left unanswered, and rumors of an escape that will shatter everything. Is this the end of the Browns we know and love? Or the start of a dramatic new chapter? Get your coffee, get comfortable, and watch now. You won't want to miss a single minute of this drama unfolding. Sometimes, the most devastating storms don't come with thunder and lightning. They creep in stealthily, through stacked boxes at night, quiet goodbyes, and front porches suddenly bereft of life. It's ironic, isn't it? The way we believe we know these people we've been watching for years. Families we've seen through each of their highs and lows, each of their heartbreaks, each of their awkward Thanksgiving dinners, and sobbing confession. We've seen them do it all. But then, something occurs that leaves you questioning whether or not you ever really knew them at all. That's where we stand now. Because what's unfolding around the Brown family, the faces we've seen for nearly 2 decades on Sister Wives, well, it's something no one saw coming. And it isn't just some TV cliffhanger. No, this feels personal, real, like something right out of a neighbor's front yard, only much, much bigger. Whispers began quietly, a missed interview somewhere, a neighbor seeing a van here. But the weeks went by, and whispers turned to roars, and questions turned heavy. Where are the moving trucks? Why are the lights off in their home? And most disturbing of all, why isn't anyone from the family or the network speaking up? You know, it's weird. After you live long enough, you begin to notice trends. You can tell when something is off, even if nobody says it out loud. That feeling of familiarity has begun to take hold for many longtime Sister Wives fans, people who've invested years in watching this family's drama and intrigue. Because this isn't just another messy breakup or dramatic season finale. This feels like an ending. But the fact is, we don't know for certain. At least, not yet. We only know that in the dark alleys of Flagstaff, Arizona, something apparently came apart sooner than anybody anticipated. Boxes were packed up, mail was halted, utilities were turned off, and all of it done under a sort of whispered urgency that makes you wonder, what were they fleeing? Was it financial trouble? Family drama finally reaching its boiling point? Or something even more complicated? Maybe something none of us have seen coming? Now, we have all had periods of time where we wanted to pack up and start anew somewhere else. Who hasn't had that nagging voice inside their head, whispering, what if we just left it all behind? That desire to start with a clean slate on the other side of the world from the noise and the stress. Not everybody, however, actually does. That's why this story is so haunting, because it is not just about leaving. It is about vanishing. And here's where it gets even creepier. Apparently, not all of the Brown kids knew about it. Some, supposedly, weren't told anything at all. Others might have heard about it the same way we did, through gossip on the internet and fuzzy pictures taken by strangers at airports. Consider that for a moment. Think about learning your own family may have left the country, reading about it on the internet. It leaves you to wonder, what were the conversations behind closed doors? And who was actually making the decision? Now there are speculations. Oh, there are aplenty. From secret money trails and hurried-up property transactions to rumors of foreign bank accounts and clandestine travel plans. Some speculate it's tax-related. Others believe it's a legal battle involving contracts and broken promises. And then there are those who think it's something even more basic and more human. Fear. Fear of being revealed. Fear of losing control. Fear of confronting the very things they've been tiptoeing around for years. It's difficult to know for certain. But one thing is absolute. This is no longer just a tale of reality TV. It's about family, power, secrets, and perhaps survival. And with more information seeping out, first from neighbors, then from fan sites, even from the farthest reaches of the internet, the questions just continue to multiply. Where are they now? Did they actually get on that plane? And if they did, what comes next? This isn't just another news headline to scroll over. It's the sort of story that tugs at you, makes you think about it long after the screen fades to black. Because at its foundation, it's about something we all know, regardless of where we are or what we sit and watch on television. It's about individuals hitting rock bottom, and what happens when they finally do decide to make a break for it. So, grab a cup of coffee, sit down, and let's take an honest, hard look at this falling apart narrative. You're going to want to hear every word, because when you look at the entire picture, you might never view this family in the same light again. You see, sometimes it seems like there is no choice in the matter. That's precisely how it is with me. When I think about relocating to Utah, it's not about boxing things up and getting a new home. It's about how people in Utah would treat our family. I worry about our kids. They'd be the ones stuck in the middle of it all. The ones facing the judgment placed right on the chopping block, so to speak. Seriously, I wish we would just settle down already. I mean, look, we're here in Flagstaff. It's beautiful here. Why can't we just put down roots? It's like everyone else in this family is completely okay with loading up and moving constantly. But me? I'm just so exhausted from all these constant debates about where we're going next. I keep thinking, we need to choose a place and finally be home. And just when you think things have calmed a bit, it begins again, just like that. It always begins with a whisper. One of those whispers that's just too specific, too bold to remain silent long. So this is what went down. A former Flagstaff neighbor who chose to spill the tea anonymously on a Sister Wives fan board reported a late-night sighting. They said there was a parked SUV right in front of Cody and Robyn's residence, just sitting idly with the hazard lights blinking. The backseat, packed with what appeared to be luggage. And look, allegedly Cody himself, with that telltale ponytail, distractedly pacing by the mailbox, phone stuck to his head, nervously glancing up and down the block as if he was either waiting for someone or perhaps trying to get away from someone. And then another post appeared, this one from a flight spotter in Arizona. They claimed they saw a last-minute ticket purchased in the name B. Sullivan, an alias fans believe Robyn has used before, on a red-eye flying to Lisbon. Coincidence? Perhaps. But as more and more fans began weighing in with photos, posts, and claimed sightings, one creepy phrase kept recurring over and over again. They're leaving tonight. And we're not talking about leaving the house or even just stepping away from the cameras. No, this was something bigger. Rumors were swirling that they were planning to leave the country altogether. Now I know. It's something that sounds like a soap opera, but people close to the Brown family report this isn't the first time that Cody has threatened to come and go packing when things get hot. Still, they're reporting this one feels different. From what's been assembled, the timing appears to be immediate. Destination? Worldwide. Reason? Well, for all that from evading lawsuits, fleeing taxation, managing TLC contract issues, or simply plain embarrassment. Sources say that this is not a carefully thought-through plan. It seems more like the result of being in panic mode. An insider even reports that Robyn made an emergency call to her sister last week, sobbing, "We need to go off the grid for a bit. I just can't take it anymore." Another source reports Cody has been unusually tense, wisely cautioning a few close friends to seal their lips and see what they can do next. And here's the kicker. Why I wanted to sit down and discuss all of this with you is because of something Christine remarked on during that heart-to-heart out at the property. I wanted to speak with everyone in private because, quite frankly, I think that why Christine continues to bring all of this up is fairly obvious. She doesn't want to develop on that property because subconsciously, she's eager to return to Utah. Now, there's been no word from the powers that be confirming any of it. But the sheer volume of coincidences coupled with the emotional drama that has surrounded it all is giving fans pause. Maybe they already have escaped quietly, right in front of everyone's eyes. But here's the kicker. If this is, indeed, an escape, it might already have begun. There have been whispers about passport documents, nothing documented naturally, but it is thought that expedited renewals were submitted around 6 weeks ago for Robyn and her younger children. And listen to this. That same week, a notary who worked out of Flagstaff allegedly signed off on 3 power of attorney forms related to an R. Brown and K. Brown. Now, everybody's abuzz about what those documents could mean. Some insiders are speculating that it could permit someone else to conduct the couple's business here in the States, just in case they're, say, thousands of miles away. And it only gets weirder from there. One of the old crew members of Sister Wives says Cody abruptly canceled a prearranged TLC promo shoot, reporting that he wasn't feeling well. But then what? He just disappeared from town completely. As the rumors become louder and the clock runs tighter, It's beginning to seem less of a what if and more of a when. In all honesty, at this juncture, it's not so much that the plane is warming up. By all accounts, they may already be taxiing down the runway. And if you think that's wild, just wait until you hear what might be pushing them to run in the first place. Because the drama happening behind the scenes, it might be even more explosive than the escape itself. So what would make two veteran reality TV stars, with decades of history together, 18 children, and a now very tenuous TV base, up and leave everything behind and sneak off to Europe in the middle of the night? Well, say people who have been watching the Brown family drama since the beginning, it's not all about avoiding cameras. It's about avoiding consequences. Sources close to the show tell us that pressure against Cody and Robyn is now boiling over. From the blowback for how Cody's treated Christine and Janelle to increasing questions about messy money transactions, including rumors of sketchy PayPal transfers, Cody is no longer the domineering TV paterfamilias. He's a man seriously on the hot seat. And this is where it gets hot. There's a rumor circulating that he's shaking in his boots about what Christine could say in her new book. They say she's got receipts, and that according to one fan, he knows it. Then there's the tax debacle. Earlier in the year, eagle-eyed fans discovered suspicious property records related to that notoriety-encrusted Coyote Passland. Some of those filings have reportedly been delayed, changed, or perhaps even diverted. Recently, there was a financial TikToker who's famous for exploring celebrity money scandals, did an in-depth dive into this exact case. And boy, did it ever blow up quickly. More than 200,000 views within a couple of days. What they discovered had fans abuzz. As per their analysis, it appears that the proceeds from the recent partial sale of that Coyote Pass property didn't exactly get split up the way Cody used to promise. Rather, the whispers are suggesting a stealthy little deal, one which appeared to launder money through Robyn and a newly minted LLC. And in case that wasn't enough, rumors have circulated that Robyn was recently seen having a meeting with an international tax consultant who has an office in Scottsdale. That put the rumor mill into high gear. Are Cody and Robyn fleeing from a financial disaster that they brought upon themselves? And let's be honest, the timing of all this couldn't be more suspicious, or for that matter, more calculated. And you know, it all comes back to that time with Christine, the one out on the property. That's actually why I wanted to mention this here. It sounds pretty clear that Christine's bringing this entire property dispute back to the table because, honestly, she never really was interested in building there. She wants to move back to Utah. Meanwhile, backstage, Season 19's tell-all special hung over everybody's head. And judging by the screenshots released so far, Cody and Robyn have taken the heat. Production insiders report that they were both playing more nervous than normal. One source said Robyn insisted on not wearing her microphone until the very end, and Cody almost walked off set after someone mentioned the family trust. They were getting under their skin. And according to another insider, Robyn even burst into tears off camera, allegedly exclaiming, "They're going to turn everyone against us. I can feel it." Whether or not that moment ever actually aired is beside the point. Something's certain. The emotional downward spiral looked absolutely real. And some behind-the-scenes people now think it's what led them to enter what they're describing as a get out while you can frame of mind. Now, in fairness, none of this has actually been vetted by the Browns themselves. They've remained absolutely mum online. Creepy as that sounds. And that quiet has only served to fuel more rumors. It's infuriating, isn't it? I mean, they just settled into Flagstaff. All this chatter about establishing a life there, about putting money into the community. And then, poof, nothing. Cody hasn't posted in weeks. Robyn hasn't liked or shared a single Sister Wives post, not even the occasional TLC promotion. And you know what they say? Sometimes silence speaks louder than words. One Reddit commenter summed it up perfectly. When Cody's quiet, something's going down. And this feels like the start of something huge. But if all that was happening in Arizona was enough to scare them into making a midnight escape, fans weren't ready for what transpired next. Because this wasn't just an emotional thing. This wasn't just about fear. It was, apparently, about something far more substantial. Money. Yeah, it always comes down to the money, doesn't it? And in this instance, the money trail isn't merely suspicious. It's downright sinister. Now, I've been very specific about this since we relocated here. I don't want to have to drag my family around anymore. My kids? They like being here in Flagstaff. They need stability. But supporters who'd been tracking each and every turn of this Coyote Pass drama, each court filing, each secret LLC, were the first to catch sight of something that simply did not feel right. Earlier this spring, county records quietly revealed a change in the ownership of the last remaining piece of that Coyote Pass property. It was sold. But here's the catch. The cash didn't appear to move through the customary family trust, as people would have expected. Instead, a brand new private company was listed as the recipient of the sale. And guess what? The address tied to this mystery company? Suspiciously close to Robyn's Flagstaff home. Naturally, that sent the internet sleuths, especially on Reddit, into a frenzy. Now, here's where things take a sharp turn, and it's enough to make your head spin. According to one user, someone claiming to have worked in Flagstaff escrow, a huge wire transfer, we're talking over $1 million, was made from that Coyote Pass property sale. But here's the kicker. That money didn't go to Christine, Janelle, or even Mary. Nope. Instead, it allegedly landed in an account tied to a limited liability company. And this LLC, it had only one listed officer, someone by the name of R. Sullivan. Now, if that surname sounds familiar, it should. For years, fans have guessed that Sullivan is just one of Robyn's previous handles prior to her Sister Wives fame. That rumored connection caused a frenzy in the fan base. Wait, it gets even more sketchy. Reports indicate that said LLC made another wire transfer 3 days later, this time in foreign currency to a European bank account. That's not exactly your run-of-the-mill retirement planning, as one commenter basically said. That's an exit strategy. And just when you thought it couldn't get any more muddy, there were rumors circulating about PayPal transactions. Big ones too, some reportedly in the 5-figure amounts. One thing fans did notice was that these transactions were linked to an old charity-like account associated with Robyn's old jewelry and family merchandise website. They say the site was reactivated secretly, not to peddle trinkets, but to secretly transfer digital cash under the radar. Now, again, no guaranteed sources here, but once screenshots began appearing online, revealing a PayPal handle that looked eerily similar to Robyn's maiden name, the internet sleuths lost their minds. One keen-eyed fan even noticed that this PayPal account had been flagged for suspicious activity on a payment forum, which fueled speculation into the stratosphere. At this point, fans started asking, was this their way of quietly moving money out of the country? One digital payment at a time? All across Reddit threads, Facebook groups, and TikTok timelines, people were buzzing, following every dotted line and dollar sign. And before long, one phrase seemed to sum it all up. Follow the money, and you'll find the plane ticket. For many fans, the pattern seemed too clear to ignore. Sudden property sales, secret wire transfers, old aliases tied back to Robyn, and whispers of some international escape fund. Whether or not it's illegal isn't really the point here. It's the optics. And let's be honest, it's not exactly helping Cody's already shaky reputation. And just when people thought things couldn't get more dramatic, a whole new theory emerged about where Robyn is allegedly trying to flee to. And let's just say, it's nowhere in the continental US. Though Cody may be the public face of this family drama, sources are now spilling that Robyn might be the puppeteer behind the scenes. They suggest she's been orchestrating this breakup for months, perhaps even longer. One acquaintance of the family even claimed Robyn has been secretly studying loopholes for dual citizenship since last fall, namely in Portugal, where Americans are eligible for a golden visa with moderate funds. Here's where the saga gets even more astonishing. From another insider, again on a fan podcast, Robyn supposedly had a secret meeting with an immigration lawyer in Phoenix a couple of months ago. And why, this source claims? She was interested in knowing how fast she might be able to get legal residency in Europe for the kids and for herself. Now, there isn't any official proof this meeting occurred, but the timing fits a bit too conveniently with some other hints fans have been piecing together. One of the more intriguing tidbits? Multiple supposed sightings of Robyn at a Flagstaff UPS store, 3 times in 1 week. people claimed she was spotted sending out thick manila envelopes to overseas destinations. Naturally, that got the rumor mill going. Most of the fans predicted paperwork, perhaps translated birth certificates, or notarized school documents for the children. And just when people were thinking they could no longer find more breadcrumbs, came the next one. One of their previous neighbors alleged she heard Robyn's youngest child rehearsing Portuguese phrases on a language app when she was playing outside in the yard. Robyn's Instagram was mysteriously set to private the same week. And wouldn't you know it, a brand new burner account popped up under a name loosely translated to Free Nest Mama in Portuguese. Now, of course, it might all be coincidence, but perhaps, Robyn was already feeling out for a second existence, silently unfolding behind the scenes. And then there's the baggage. A blog post by a self-proclaimed flight attendant on an overnight flight from Phoenix to New York over the weekend definitely sparked some flames among fans. They said a family that fit Cody and Robyn's descriptions got on the plane appearing nervous, and they were carrying several oversized bags. Even more suspicious? The bags supposedly had European airport codes in Sharpie written on them. Now, there isn't photo evidence to support it, but that didn't put a stop to the firestorm of rumors. Fans even uncovered a customs declaration manual that Robyn had apparently downloaded from a Lisbon moving company months before, back in the spring. It's better yet, some online sleuths say she's already booked a short-term villa just outside Faro, Portugal. The reservation, per these forums, was made in the name R. Sullivan, that same tired old cover name, and allegedly paid for on a credit card linked to a U.S. LLC. If only a portion of this is true, well, this isn't panicked daydreaming any longer. This begins to resemble a well-plotted scheme, one that would require serious research, funds, and several months of behind-the-scenes machinations to execute. Robyn may not be the one yapping her head off in those confessional interviews, but if these sources are to be believed, she's been flying under the radar building every single brick in this so-called getaway for a very long time already. And this is the part that has fans shook. Some even think that she already sent some of her stuff abroad. And now, if Robyn is indeed the mastermind behind all of this, that raises one major question. What does that leave Cody? Well, get this. Some people are now speculating that Cody might not even be the one in charge anymore. And just when you think it can't get any more complicated, another person comes along, set to blow the whistle. Word got out, though, and both Christine and Janelle heard about the supposed escape plan. And let's just say their reactions weren't peaceful. It was Christine, says someone who knows the extended family of the Browns, who sounded the alarm first. She was hearing all kinds of rumors in Flagstaff about appointments being canceled, boxes being packed into bags, and even a van pulling away from Robyn's house at strange times of night. When Mykelti Brown and Tony Padron jumped onto what was going to be a fun, friendly Q&A livestream, no one was thinking fireworks. But boy, it didn't take long to get hot. In the space of a few minutes, the conversation suddenly shifted, square into the subject of favoritism. In particular, Cody's long-standing bias towards Aspen. Tony was candid. He outright declared it was never subtle. In his view, Cody treated Aspen like a princess because, as Tony explained, she was always prettied up, and the other kids had to scuffle for crumbs of attention. And this is what actually shocked the viewers. Mykelti, her usual tactful and diplomatic self, didn't even attempt to deny it. She merely nodded and said, "It was always clear who was most important." That one was a bombshell, not only because it verified what all the fans had long suspected, but because it shed years of emotional bias and laid bare the profound fissures in the Brown family structure. All those rumors about Cody and Robyn's supposed international flight suddenly took on a decidedly darker hue. Actually, now it's beginning to look like that bias may have been used as a weapon. A number of fan accounts have been posting unsubstantiated reports that only some children were informed or even invited about Cody and Robyn's alleged plans to leave. One source, one who is said to be close to the family, asserted that Robyn's younger children had their bags packed well over a week ago. Meanwhile, other children, particularly those affiliated with Christine and Janelle, were told nothing at all. And believe it or not, Another rumor says two of Cody's grown children weren't even told about the potential move until they read about it in fan posts and social media threads. And when they attempted to call their dad, straight to voicemail. Of course, the emotional repercussions have been swift and intense. One of the insiders reports that following Mike Kelty and Tony's live stream, the adult Brown siblings group chat went wild. Messages reportedly went flying back and forth, some with shock, some straight up angry. A screenshot has been going around, unsubstantiated naturally, but it includes one message that reads simply, "He's really doing it, getting on a plane." Whether that message is real or not, the feeling behind it sure is. And for the first time, it seems like the siblings are rallying together, united in a way we've never really seen before. The unspoken message? If Cody wants to run off with his hand-picked family unit, he's doing it without the blessing, or the silence, of the rest of his kids. But it's not just about bruised feelings anymore. There's increased speculation that at least one or two of the grown kids may be secretly collaborating with lawyers for Christine and Janelle. Not out of vengeance, but out of genuine concern. Their concern that the younger siblings would become stuck in the middle of this possible cross-continent custody war. As one of the fans succinctly stated, this isn't about favoritism anymore. It's about protection. And as emotions run hot and new hurts rip old wounds wide open, it's starting to seem like the entire family dynamic is falling apart at the seams because of Cody's decisions. But as the siblings rush around and the ex-wives start tightening their legal hold, there's another tempest brewing quietly in the background. One that's not only personal, it's professional. Because now, rumors are circulating about an impending war between Cody, the network, and a contract that he might just have broken. If true, and Cody and Robyn are attempting to flee town, they could have gotten themselves into the middle of a flat-out legal storm with TLC itself. Now, per rumor from someone who says they have insiders on the production team, Cody and Robyn's supposed Vanishing act might actually get them into trouble, big trouble, with the network. Why? Well, it's not just about skipping a few episodes. This could mean violating some major clauses in their filming contract, particularly the ones tied to season continuity and promotional obligations. We're talking about a possible breach of a multi-year agreement, with key deliverables still incomplete. And according to at least one source close to the situation, the network's legal team, they're not happy. Let's wind back a bit. Sister Wives has been shooting consistently for months, with the majority of season 19 already completed. But with a catch, the last tell-all interviews were still being done, and that's when the cracks allegedly started to appear. A production staff member reportedly informed a fan site that Cody and Robyn had been turning down some filming requests for weeks, citing stress and safety issues. Robyn even asked that no one come into her house without advance written permission. Meanwhile, Cody reportedly canceled 2 planned interview sessions, leaving producers scrambling to reschedule the shooting. Now, with all these rumors circulating about them leaving or getting ready to leave the country, the gossip has escalated to something more substantial. Others are now asking, are they attempting to part ways with the show altogether without paying the price? If that's true, it won't come cheap. On the advice of industry sources who are intimate with TLC's standard contracts, leaving mid-season, particularly without formal written notice, may set off significant financial penalties, potentially in the 6 or even 7-figure range. And that's not all. If Cody or Robyn were to speak about behind-the-scenes production information outside of America, they might also find themselves violating their confidentiality and non-disclosure agreements. That could turn extremely ugly. Actually, one entertainment attorney posted on an online site stating, if this is intentional and they've already departed the country, TLC absolutely could pursue them abroad. That's not unprecedented. And here's yet another wrinkle to this legal mess. If Cody or Robyn used business accounts or money diverted from their TLC earnings to fund their alleged flight, that would raise even more eyebrows, particularly with auditors. There's even word, still unofficial, that a cease and desist letter already exists. Nobody knows as of yet if it's been delivered officially or whether the network is playing it coy and waiting to not stir up an even larger media firestorm. But this is the cold reality. If Cody and Robyn did in fact board that flight without informing TLC, they could have just torched their last American television bridge. As one supporter aptly put it, they've treated this family like a business, and now they've ghosted their largest client. And now we arrive at the inevitable next installment, because once you get legal documents and airport documents clashing, there's only really one direction this tale can go from here, which takes us full circle back to Portugal. If Portugal is indeed their destination, then there is one huge question. Why does that place keep resurfacing? And what exactly could Robyn have already arranged over there? You see, the theory of Portugal didn't begin loudly. It began quietly as a little rumor. But now, it's become full-blown thunder. And the more the deeper fans investigate, the more it appears this alleged European escape wasn't just some hasty panic maneuver. This has been in the planning for a while. According to a number of Reddit forums, and even one Portuguese expat group that's since gone private, someone who resembled Robyn was posing some very specific questions regarding immigration dating back as far as last autumn. One respondent, purporting to moderate an expatriate relocation Q&A site for Americans living overseas, reported that a woman identifying herself as Sully Brown contacted her to ask about rental law for property, homeschooling regulations, and, most telling of all, how long it would take to open a Portuguese bank account without a local ID. She was cautious, the poster said, but it was clear this wasn't a holiday. She was setting up to reside there. And then, just like that, the breadcrumbs started piling up. One TikTok account, run by a fan, compiled what looked like a string of real estate search history associated with Robyn's publicly visible browser activity before she secured her accounts. What was being searched? Tourist areas or vacation properties weren't on the list. Villas close to Faro, townhomes in Cascais, and properties filtered by proximity to international schools and low tourist traffic neighborhoods were. One fan even claimed that an Airbnb host in Portugal's Algarve region confirmed a recent booking under the name Sullivan R with, get this, a billing address from Flagstaff. That Airbnb account has since gone dark, of course. But screenshots? Oh, they live on. Some of those screenshots showed a beautiful little white stucco rental with sea views, complete with a caption that read, "Our new safe place." Now, again, none of this has been officially announced, but it's difficult to discount the trend here. Portugal is no random selection on the map. Actually, Portugal has become one of the leading places for Americans to relocate, particularly those with resources and impending legal troubles. With its Golden Visa initiative, it's relatively simple for foreigners to obtain residency by buying property or making specific investments. And this is the kicker that really got fans upset. Portugal doesn't have a civil extradition treaty covering things like breaches of contract. Robyn, the planner that she is, might have researched each detail of this. Someone on Reddit explained that Robyn had actually liked a post regarding international school choices in Lisbon just a few months ago, just before her account went private. Another web sleuth identified a Portuguese online shopping order traced to Robyn's old email, even down to a shipping address and phone number since deleted. And what is Cody in all this? Yes, sources indicate that he hasn't been nearly as invested in the nitty-gritty. One insider says that Robyn's been doing most of the paperwork, from documents to reservations. Cody may be the public face of this venture, but Robyn? She's the puppet master in the background. That, in the opinion of some enthusiasts, might be the reason why there are rumors of Robyn already shipping personal items, key documents, photographs, and perhaps even family mementos into storage abroad. If it's true, this is not a backup plan. This is a brand new life, quietly in wait on the other side of the Atlantic. And with each passing day, it's becoming more and more likely that Cody and Robyn are preparing to pull the trigger. But here's the thing. They're not so much sneaking off incognito. The internet is paying attention, and fans aren't silent. Because while Robyn was supposedly planning her new utopia, fans were rallying online with one unifying mission. Stop that plane. If Cody and Robyn believed they could fly under the radar into the European horizon, they obviously didn't know better about the internet. The instant rumors of their potential flight began circulating, fans were moving quicker than TSA at a security line. In a matter of hours, hashtags such as #StopThatPlane and hashtag brown flight risk were trending across social media, particularly in the Sister Wives fan bases, which, let's be real, are full of longtime viewers with iron-strong memories, piles of receipts, and absolutely no tolerance for dishonesty. TikTok went wild in a matter of seconds, with users sharing live updates directly from airport terminals. Reddit forums erupted, earning over 1,000 comments within a couple of hours. And on Facebook? Good grief. It was essentially a blaze. Hundreds of posts were circulating, with people analyzing airline routes, diving into frequent flyer data, and even guessing which gate Cody would try to slip through to evade capture. Next came perhaps the most viral moment to date. A spectator reported seeing someone who appeared to be Robyn at Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport. She was seen wearing a headscarf and sunglasses, no less, at night. The witness even provided a grainy photo. It wasn't really evidence, but just credible enough to drive the online forums into absolute pandemonium. Not long after, another user claimed they saw Cody arguing with a gate agent over, you guessed it, baggage fees. Again, unconfirmed. But honestly, at this point, it's not even about whether these sightings are verified. It's about the energy. People aren't just watching anymore. They're tracking. As one commenter jokingly put it, we used to look for plot twists on TV. Now we're watching the departures board at JFK. Even armchair fans were beginning to put it together. One of the largest speculations began when a certain overseas flight to Lisbon was held up, precisely during the exact 2-hour period when Robyn's personal Instagram account suddenly went from dormant to active, and then just as suddenly went dark once more. At the same time, another eagle-eyed viewer pulled up USPS mail hold records and discovered that mail delivery for an address corresponding to Robyn's street had been indefinitely suspended. Last week, as it happened, that screenshot also went viral in no time. Then there was a bombshell tip from a secret source. A big cashier's check, supposedly drawn on one of Cody's former LLCs, had just been deposited into an offshore bank account, according to this tipster. No names, no verifications, but the memo was clear as day to fans. They're getting out their money in a hurry. As the social media tempest continued to rage, so did the rumor mill, and some people weren't gossiping anymore. A few people, half in jest, possibly not, started tagging the State Department and the FBI on Twitter and calling for an investigation. Others took it seriously, wondering if Cody's reported plans to take minor children out of the country, particularly in light of ongoing custody disputes, could spur intervention by the government. Up until now, there's been no official reaction. But here's the catch. Whether or not the authorities are listening, the fans certainly are. And now that what Cody and Robyn assumed they could do in secret is front-page fan gossip, let me tell you, some of the best evidence for them doesn't involve the airports or the websites. It involves Wright and Flagstaff. Because according to local accounts, what's transpiring back home might be the most unequivocal indication yet that the Browns already are gone. By the time fans began noticing moving vans in the area, many couldn't possibly believe it was happening at all. Rumors had been circulating for so long, so theatrically, that legitimate confirmation almost seemed like fantasy. But from various Flagstaff neighborhood watch organizations and local postings, there was a white box truck. No company marks, no logos, seen driving away from Robyn's driveway at midnight last Friday. And yeah, one neighbor even caught a photo. The rear door swung open, boxes piled high, a rolled-up rug sitting atop them. One neighbor reported they even saw a handwritten note on one of the boxes that simply stated, "Christmas, keep." It was silent. No lights in the windows, no waving neighbors saying goodbye. Only the quiet thud of the tailgate going up and the soft rumble of an engine fading into the night. And then came the mail suspension. And for those in the know, USPS records are public. And lo and behold, mail delivery to the Browns' well-documented Flagstaff address was put on indefinite hold. Not for a vacation, not to repair their home, but for moving. Fans immediately followed that with news of an immediate deactivation of a water account for the same address. And when you join the dots on this is not a family just having a little holiday. This is a full-scale shutdown. That is when the cyber detectives went into overdrive. They began poring over all the scraps of video they could get their hands on, from backyard cameras capturing the final flicker of activity to time-stamped Ring doorbells that unexpectedly fell silent, even cataloging the very day the trash cans were rolled up the driveway for the last time. And what about TLC, radio silence? No social media update with Cody and Robyn missing. No sneak peeks of them in the promos for upcoming tell-all episodes. Actually, some fans caught something really creepy on one of the latest teaser videos. The Browns were mentioned in the past tense only. Cody was the center, the narrator intoned, but things change. Was that just clever editing? Or could it have been the network's quiet way of starting to distance itself from the chaos? Some are whispering that legal teams are already circling, just waiting for the right time to drop a public statement or serve legal paperwork. As for Christine and Janelle, word is they've accepted that Cody is no longer their problem, but they haven't stopped fighting for their kids. Sources say a travel warning has been sought, technically for children who might be removed from the country. Meanwhile, it seems those elder Brown siblings, they're still calling, still texting, and yes, reportedly still monitoring flights in real time. And here's the thing, this is no longer about revenge. This has become about protection. And if that final moving van did indeed set out under the cover of night, well, it appears this getaway scheme might not be fictional after all. So are they already gone? Did they quietly slip away, sliding right through the cracks before anyone could catch them? Or are they still in hiding somewhere close at hand, one foot out the door, waiting for the family and fans to be distracted long enough for them to get away for good? Whatever the true story is, one thing's as clear as day. This isn't over. In fact, it's only just beginning. So, what do you think, though? Did Cody and Robyn really make a break for it out of the country? And if they did, who's actually been orchestrating all this dramatic escapade? Make sure to like, subscribe, and hang around, because the next video in front of you, oh, you're going to want to stick around for it, that's for sure.